It's really, I don't think it's really what the people want. The people want that fight. That's the fight that they really want. I think, it can't happen.
I know you once said, hey, look, if we fight, it's going to be either 70-30, 80-20. Was that?
Man, I was playing. Nobody's taking no 80-20, 70-30. But yeah, I was playing. Like I wasn't serious about that, man. But I was playing.
Nah, he wasn't playing. He was pretty much serious. Somebody sent this video to me and gave it a quick look. Now I'm finna give you my thinking what I think. Now, of course, Eroll Spence wasn't playing. He just wasn't, And you know what? I wish he wouldn't have got on TV and even said that. It'd be better if he just kept up with what he was saying, but trying to backtrack and try to act like that's not what you meant. Let's be real. Let's just break down the basics. Like I always say, let's just use deductive reasoning. Let's say that you was playing. Eroll Spence was well aware of how people were taking it. And he was well aware that people was taking that 70-30 or whatever you want to call it. He was well aware that people was taking that serious. So he's no stranger to looking at social media and, what people have been saying and whatnot. So he's well aware that people took what he said 110% serious. And yet he didn't come out and correct it, And the funny thing is he also tell you like, no, man, ain't nobody accepting no percentage like that, which is why he threw that number out there like that. But at any point in time, he could have corrected people, say, yo, man, I'm just fucking around. That's not what I mean. You know what I'm saying? That's the kind of numbers you give off when you don't want to have a fight made. I mean, that's just plain and simple, But what really happened was really this. Eroll Spence, damn, I can't even, even when I try to say his name right, I still say Spence. Eroll Spence, he never planned on fighting Terrence Bud Crawford. I think we all know that by now. I think even the most hardcore fanboys, they ultimately really know that. He was never going to fight Terrence Bud Crawford. It was never in the plan, I mean, he laid out his plan for you on TV, and he's pretty much done everything that he said that he was going to do when Terrence Crawford confronted him backstage. It pretty much went how he said it was going to go. He talked about Pacquiao. He talked about Porter. He talked about Danny Garcia. He talked about all this, and just like Terrence said, like, damn, he ain't mentioned my name. He's like, nah, no, he didn't. So the truth of the matter is Terrence Crawford was never going to be on the menu. Ever. That's the truth. Eroll Spence was banking on getting that Pacquiao fight to where he could act like he's so up on his high horse that he didn't have to entertain Terrence Bud Crawford. Because even if you are, let's say that you are kidding about the percentage split, one thing he wasn't kidding about is your failure to acknowledge that he held the last belt. The failure to acknowledge that it was a fight that the people wanted to see. And as you heard in the beginning of the video, he said he's well aware that it's a fight that people wanted to see. So if it's a fight that people want to see, why would you put a percentage out there where it's more than likely that fight is not going to happen, but that that's a fight that people want to see? When you say that, you're just not trying to antagonize or disrespect Terrence Bud Crawford, but you're also antagonizing and disrespecting the boxing fans, the same boxing fans that you say wanted to see that fight. They were taking you serious, and you didn't bother to spend no time correcting them. Why does he have to backtrack now? Because right now, things didn't turn out the way it was supposed to, due to the car crash accident, and also due to his eye injury. Let me explain. Because like I said, he was banking on that fight with Pacquiao, getting that fight with Pacquiao and being so up on his high horse that he didn't have to entertain Bud. He wasn't entertaining Bud before the Pacquiao fight. He wasn't going to entertain him after that. He was already acting like the guy didn't exist. He didn't need his belt. He wasn't that important. His legacy doesn't need him. You know, all the kind of stuff. You know, he crossed the street. You know, all that other kind of stuff. So why would he change up his position now? Because he had to back out of that Manny Pacquiao fight, and now he ultimately realizes now you actually do need Terrence Bud Crawford. So now you're going to have to treat this situation in a different manner, okay? Because it didn't turn out the way that it was supposed to turn out due to his accident and due to his eye. So now that he can't get the Manny Pacquiao fight, because that is, I mean, it's gone. The guy's retired. Now you got to deal with Ugas. Truthfully, dealing with Ugas is no choice. You either deal with Ugas or you go deal with Terrence Bud Crawford. As you see, he rather pick Ugas than Terrence Bud Crawford. And as I stated before in the rundown, which I'll leave the link in the description box, in the rundown video, I stated how Eroll Spence I said in the rundown video that Eroll Spence as I stated in the rundown video, I'm going to leave the link in the description box. We already know that Ugas tried to unify with Eroll, and it wasn't entertained, and nor was Eroll Spence talking about trying to unify with Ugas. You know, that was not the talks. But you know, if you're not going to fight Terrence Bud Crawford, and you wasn't going to give Ugas a shot at unifying, something that should have been granted to him no matter what, and you got Deron Boots Ennis in line to be your mandatory, it's called taking a lesser of three evils. Either fight Terrence Bud Crawford, fight Ugas, or go fight your mandatory. So Ugas was the smartest and the best choice at this point. So now you got to look at that 70-30 or whatever, and you got to say you were kidding, knowing damn well that you wasn't kidding. You know, you knew it was a bold offer when you said it. And what did Terrence Crawford say or do to make you say, you know what, you fuck around and it's going to be 70-30? What did he say or do besides want to fight? What did he say or do to make you be like, all right, well, you know, and it's all that bow down to me stuff. You know, which was really a facade for, I just didn't want to fight at the end of the day. You know, I like that Eroll Spence got his space. I can even tell that he's different. Eroll Spence, I like the Eroll Spence that, you know, before he started hanging with the Charlos. And it seems like he's returned back to that person now. When he got around the Charlos, that's when everything started to go downhill. You know, that's when everything started to go downhill. Now that he's got out of downtown Dallas and he's out there on the ranch and whatever and whatnot, he seems to be somewhat like the old Eroll Spence before the choker chains and the Charlos. That's what he seems to be like, you know, and that's cool and that's great. But at this point, to say that he was joking, it ain't true. He wasn't joking. It's just that shit didn't end up how it was supposed to end up, and now you really do need Terrence Bud Crawford, and it's probably in your best interest to make it seem like you were just joking this whole time when you're aware that everybody took that serious. But now when you're saying it, you know how bad it looks. So if you ever wanted to really pursue undisputed, then why would you throw out some numbers like that? So it's just Eroll Spence just trying to clean the shit up. That's all it is at the end of the day. He's just trying to clean the shit up because he's aware how he's been acting, how he's been treating the situation. So of course he's going to say that he was joking. But Eroll Spence wasn't joking because Terrence Bud Crawford was never on the plan to fight in the first place. He wasn't. He wasn't nowhere on it.